Tony, what brought you to Baylor?
Well, I grew up in Belmead and went to the schools in La Vega. And for me, Baylor was always almost a fantasy. And I had an early dream of getting a degree from Baylor, and finally was able to do that. So there was really never any question that I was going to go anywhere else or really consider anywhere else. To me, Baylor was where I wanted to be.
When did you first set eyes on campus, and what did you think?
Oh gosh, I was probably in the 4th grade, something like that. And I'd gone out there with a group of Royal Ambassadors. And the place that I went more than that, of course, was Baylor Stadium when I got to go to football games.
Is that your favorite place on campus?
Well, Baylor, the original Baylor Stadium was not on campus, but it holds more memories to me than really just about any other place, because I loved the idea of Baylor football. I remember the days of Lawrence Elkins and Don Truell, both whom I'm lucky to know these days. But it was a mystique about Baylor football that drew me to that stadium, and I just have so many great memories of the stadium and look back on it very, very fondly.
Over your time at Baylor, what's your fondest memory?
Well, my fondest memory was discovering a little bit about journalism, actually quite a bit about journalism, and learning the impact of journalism. And I graduated in 1973. I was of the Watergate era, so newspapers had a tremendous impact on society and on culture and on politics. And so for me, it was all newspapers. And for me, it was understanding exactly what journalism meant in a societal way. And I learned lessons there that I've never forgotten.
What kind?
Well, that journalism was important, and that journalism was an essential part of democracy. And I've been lucky enough to travel in many parts of the world, especially in Latin America where I've worked. And the one thing I hold dear in my heart is that without a free press, there are not free people. And that still is the case. And still, the more I live, the more I really do understand the essential role of journalism and free speech and freedom of the press and democracy and self-governance.
You were the editor of the Houston Chronicle for a number of years. How did your time at Baylor influence your approach to that job?
Well, one of the important things about Baylor is the learning about people, and you learn to get along with people, and you learn to work with people. And I did learn lessons at Baylor that helped me throughout my career, throughout working at the Houston Chronicle. It was a great honor to work there as a reporter, editor, and to get to know a great number of people and to live and work in a fabulous city, which Houston is. And Baylor served as a wonderful preparation for all of that.
Were there any professors that were particularly influential in terms of helping direct where your career went, changing the way you thought about things?
Well, of course, it was David McCam, and for all of my generation at Baylor, David McCam was really the quintessential professor. He was demanding, he was intelligent in a way that was really an inspiration to all of us. And he did teach us exactly the meaning of journalism and what journalism could do in a society. And he was absolutely intolerant of anybody who was lazy, anybody who did not give a maximum effort. And the greatest humiliation in the world was to not please David McCam. And those of us who occasionally fell short learned very quickly of exactly what his wrath could be.
Anybody else?
Well, I do remember several others, and one that really taught me an enormous amount about the English language was Roy Cornelius in the English department at Baylor. His class was very demanding. He was exactly the same way. He did not tolerate anything less than a maximum effort, and the structure of the English language was taught to me in his class. And I doubt if this is done these days, but I remember that really the first 6 weeks of the class we spent diagramming sentences, and that was the first time that I actually learned about English grammar, and I've never forgotten it.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Dave Campbell.
Well, Dave was a tremendous mentor, and he has to this day been a significant influence on my life. And working for Dave for the 3 years that I did while I was a student at Baylor are some of the most meaningful in my life. And it was not just about sports, but it really was about journalism, and it was about life. And Dave is, to this day, just a tremendous intellect. He is widely read, he understands literature, he understands the impact of words, and all of that was a part of all of us who worked with him. And the Waco Tribune-Herald has been extremely fortunate to have had Dave for many years. And the sports section that Dave edited for decades had a significant impact that reached far beyond Waco and far beyond even the old Southwest Conference and the Big 12 Conference.
What has Baylor meant to you?
I think Baylor has taught me lessons that simply no other institution could or would. And for me to have really lived a dream and gotten a degree from Baylor is still something that I look back and cherish. Baylor has a rich history, and a part of it, of course, is the religious foundation. But a larger context is what it means to so many thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people who have gone there. Baylor teaches a culture, and it teaches a way of life that those of us who have experienced it never forget.
Can Baylor get back on track?
Yes, it's not easy. Baylor has to understand exactly what's gone before and exactly the depth of the issues, and the depth of the issues, unfortunately, is very significant. But it will take a number of people, it will take thousands of people pulling together, including the administration, including all of us who are alumni, and all of us who really want to make sure that Baylor has a firm moral compass going forward. And that seems to me the thing that unfortunately is lacking at Baylor at this time.
That'll do it.